Hey y'all, so this week's product review is on the Hogs Cheetahs. I've had these wheels for a couple of months now and I'm stoked to bring you guys a review finally. These wheels are unlike anything else on the market right now. They're pretty unique. Yeah, unfortunately because of COVID-19, we didn't get to see how these performed on the race circuit. So hopefully this review should quench your thirst for information on these wheels. Bit of a disclaimer, I am sponsored by Hogs, but that will not affect the review in any way. I did actually have to buy these wheels at full price at a skate shop as they weren't available in the warehouse when I wanted them. But yeah, first let's look at the specifications of these wheels. They are 77 millimeters tall with a width and contact patch of 71 millimeters. You get three duro options. You get a single duro wheel, which is 76A. Then you get the dual duro options with an inner option of 85A or 90A, with the outer urethane being 76A in both cases. For the price, you can buy them at $69 for the single duro option and $90 for the dual duro option. The wheels are also side set. And yeah, let's get into the actual review. Let's start off with a bit of a summary. So yeah, these are pretty unique feeling wheels. The best way I could describe them is that they feel like Venom Magnums when you engage them and try to turn them, but when going in a straight line and accelerating, they kind of feel like Seismic Alphas. Where they do feel really unique is how they slide and how they feel going down the hill the first sort of few times that you ride them. They have a lot of braking power and a lot of traction, and that braking power is really insane. And they have a really solid, crisp feel when you're sliding them, which is really unique, and I haven't felt that with any other wheel, maybe the Seismic Alphas. But yeah, they have insane braking power. When going down a hill, these things feel like steamrollers. Just wanna, they just, it's like it's an experience because they just roll like unlike anything else I've ever skated. It's like literal steamroller wheels. Whilst they do feel unique, they do go for $90, and I would say they're quite a specialist wheel. They do excel really well on the race course, I think, but they have diminishing returns outside of the race course in terms of just like normal open road riding and stuff like that. So yeah, these wheels are fast. Some of the fastest wheels I've ever used. They're definitely, in my opinion, faster than Venom Magnums, but they're not as fast as Seismic Alphas. I think Alphas for me still retain the title as the fastest wheel I've tried. However, I do feel like depending on the hill and how hard you push into it, the 90A version can be faster than the alphas. That's just straight line speed. If I'm talking about how fast they are overall down like a course, then these are the fastest wheels I've tried on most of the roads that I've skated consistently. But that said, because of how heavy they are, they don't have the best sort of acceleration. And they do suffer on slower roads. And yeah, these wheels feel really slow on runs that are below 25 miles per hour. I don't know why that is. I think it's because of how heavy they are. Because they're a solid urethane wheel, they are quite heavy. So if your heels are slower than 25 miles per hour or you want to use them in a parking garage, they're not going to feel that quick. Another interesting thing about acceleration is that these wheels are really hard to get moving from a stop. So if you're trying to get them off the line, it's really difficult. They have so much rolling resistance and inertia that is quite difficult. But that said, they tend to retain that speed for the whole run. So with that in mind, if you have a really weak push and you don't really push them, then I feel like, and I think I felt that more with these wheels than any other wheel I've tried. If you have a weak push, they really affect the rest of the run. I don't know why that is. But if you have a really strong push and you're able to put a lot into these wheels in terms of speed, they tend to retain that the whole run. And yeah, they just tend to retain momentum better than any other wheel that I've tried. So yeah, as I have said, they are quite heavy and they feel like they weigh a little bit more than the Venom mags. Apart from affecting how your push feels, they also affect how nimble they feel. Like these wheels don't really want to change direction that easily. And after riding them for a couple sessions, you do get used to this, but for the first few times, you're going to feel as though the wheel doesn't want to react that quickly to your input. It just kind of wants to keep going straight. Next, I'm going to be talking about the grip and braking power of these wheels. When these wheels are fresh, they have insane braking power and they slow you down a lot. They're unlike any other wheel that I've slid fresh. I haven't skated that many wheels fresh, but these are the grippiest for me. They're grippier than Venom Magnums, they're grippier than Alphas. I am riding Kuei soon, so we'll see how those fare against this. But it's really interesting. I think they're that grippy because of how stiff the wheel is. Instead of just using the outer edge of the urethane slow down the wheel, you get to use more of the contact patch. I might be wrong on that, so I'll have to get back to you guys if I do get to ride another fresh set. But that's how I feel. I feel like the contact patch wears relatively evenly, and this is where you get a lot of braking power from these wheels. But I will say also that when I rode these for the first time, I wasn't that impressed with the braking power, and that was because of my setup. I tried them with my old Savant setup, which had a 140 millimeter Savant and a split angle setup, and I tried them with my Smokies when they weren't dialed in, and they didn't perform very well. They didn't have that much grip, and they didn't slow me down that much. But once I dialed in my Smokies, and once I also tried them on 2020 Rogues, when these were fresh, man, these things had insane braking power, and yeah, they're the grippiest wheels I have tried to date. And interestingly enough, the slide is always controllable. Like it never feels too much. Like with some wheels, when you slide them, like the grip is too much and you feel like you can't control it. But with these, I could stay on top of the board and be relaxed, which is really interesting and fun. And they don't really have an edge feel. Like when you're going into the slide, you don't really feel like an edge feel. It's like it kind of breaks into the slide, then you get that insane braking power. Spoke to Dexter and he said that for the 2021 versions, they've added a little bit of a lip, so you do get a little bit more edge feel as you're going into the slide. So next I'm going to be talking about how durable these wheels are. I've skated these for a few months and I've only really worn down a couple millimeters. That's not really saying much because I don't really wear down wheels that much, but I do think that they're pretty durable. I did hear that they lasted about 10 plus runs down tuner. I don't know if that's impressive. Sounds impressive. But yeah, they're durable enough. An interesting thing is that they don't chunk as much as you'd expect them to. I really thought that the 76A urethane would be really soft and really easy to chunk, but these have held up really, really well. There are no big chunks. You do get the little sort of bite marks or whatever that you get on the lips. In comparison, I skated Venom Magnums on the same roads that I skate these wheels, and the 74A mags chipped more, especially at the lips. So yeah, they don't chunk as much as you expect. One thing that I do want to talk about is the inner duro and how that plays a role in the usability of this wheel. The inner duro is about like 65, 68 millimeters tall or something like that. I'm not sure. But once you get down to that 68 millimeter diameter, you can't use the wheels anymore. And that sucks. However, if you're like me and once your downhill wheels get to about 70 millimeters, you don't even use them anymore because you have loads of other wheels to use. It's not really that big of a deal. But if you're someone who wants to really core their wheels or get the most out of the race wheels, that might be an issue for you. I will say if you are savvy enough, you can make a tech slide wheel out of the inner durometer. Yeah, I don't really think it's that big of a deal, but it does limit the usability for open road performance. And yeah. Another thing I want to talk about concerning the inner duro and how it affects the wheel is how they feel on rougher roads. They do reflect road vibration more, but it wasn't that much of an issue. It's just now when I skated like proper chanda that it got really, really uncomfortable. But for the most part, I was able to skate most of my spots with these and not really notice that much of a difference. Of course, I did feel more road vibration, but it wasn't significant enough that it affected my experience negatively. All right, so up next, I'm looking at the differences between the 85A and the 98 Duro, and really which you should go for if you do want to get these wheels. So initially, when they're both fresh, the difference isn't that much. This reflects a bit more road vibration, but when they're both fresh, you don't really feel that much of a difference. Of course, the more you wear them down, the bigger the differences will be. The 98 Duro accelerated faster and felt faster overall than the 85A Duro, and apparently the 85A Duro is more grippy. I wore this down too much, so I can't really make a proper comparison. This is still pretty fresh. I think if you want to race, obviously go with the 98 Euro. It's going to give you the best performance possible, honestly. You're going to have high roll speed, the braking power you need, all that good stuff. But if you want to do open road stuff, I would recommend the 85A. As you wear it down, you're still going to have a wheel that's usable enough and that doesn't reflect too much road vibration. I expect this wheel to reflect way too much road vibration the closer that I get to the core. In summary, the 85A is better for open road stuff and the 90A is going to be better for things when it comes to racing, but it has limited usability outside of racing, in my opinion, so far. If your opinion is different, like comment and we talk about it.
Nice.
Right, so up next, I'm talking about things that I didn't like about the Cheetah Hawgs. First thing I didn't like was the weight. Like I said, you do get used to it within a couple of sessions, but if you're just pushing these wheels around, if you're just cruising around, they are going to tire you out. They do hold on to their speed quite well, but if you're pushing them around, you're really going to feel it in your legs. The next thing that I didn't like is that they reflected a lot of road vibration. Like, it doesn't get in the way of your riding, but the closer you get to the core, the more road vibration becomes an issue, and I don't think it's going to affect your riding experience that much, but you are going to feel uncomfortable. Next thing I didn't like is that they didn't fit all trucks. By that I mean, when you put them on some trucks, they tend to rub the hangers because of how close the inner durometer is to the core in terms of size or whatever. So for example, with the Rogues, it rubbed the hanger on the 106mm option. I also saw in Emily Prost's review of them with the new Rojas trucks that they rub the hanger of the Rojas trucks. Another thing I didn't like is the price. Yeah, they're quite expensive. They're $90. That's a lot of money for anybody. And that brings me to my next point. Are they worth the price? So yeah, are these worth the price? And that answer on that is gonna really depend on what you want to use them for. If you want to use them to win races and perform your best and really push your limits, absolutely, they're absolutely worth it. But if you want to use them for open road stuff, I mean, they're pretty great wheels, they're pretty fast, they have a lot of braking power, all that good stuff, but they're not doing anything a $50 or $60 wheel can do. These are a highly specialist wheel and they're designed to perform their best when you're racing them. But yeah, that said, I believe every downhill skater should at least buy these once to experiment with them and just see how they feel, because they're pretty unique feeling and they're just really worth experiencing at least once. So yeah, I do think they're worth the price for most of the time, but you know. So the next thing I want to ask is, do you guys think that dual-duro wheels are a fad? Do you think they're just a passing craze or whatever? Do you think they're going to be here 5 years from now? And my personal answer for that is yes, I really think that dual-duro wheels are the future of race wheels. These wheels perform really, really well. They have the acceleration and top speed of a harder wheel, but the grip characteristics of a softer wheel. I really do think that they're the future of race wheels. Not only that, I think we're going to be seeing dual-duro wheels with a large inner core as well. It's going to be damn expensive, like $130 or however much, but I do think that's the future of race wheels. And with that, I also think we're going to be seeing a bigger rift between casual downhill skateboarding and the equipment used for racing. It's a bit of a guess. I've never raced in my life, but I do think we're going to be seeing more of a rift growing between the two. If racing starts dying out, then we're going to see this type of wheels dying out. And it's just really interesting to see, and future is exciting or whatever. So yeah, well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. If you're looking to pick up a set, I'm going to shout out Insanity Board Shop. They have some in stock, so I recommend going and grabbing yourself a set before they run out of stock. Big thanks to my patrons. I'm able to make reviews like this because of you guys. I actually use the Patreon money to buy these wheels. And yeah, if you guys have anything you want to add to my review, you can comment below. Share this video with your friends or whatever. And yeah, thanks for watching.